I have never in my life gone on a bulk. I know that there's a big fuzz about bulking and cutting, and that if you want to build muscles, bulking is the only option. But what if I told you that is a lie? Bulking isn't the only option. You can still be relatively lean and build muscles at the same time. That is how I have done it. And I'm going to show you how I built muscles without ever bulking. Throughout the video, I will show you B-rolls of me training, and if you want me to help you personally, click the first link in the description. The reason why I have never gone on a bulk is because I have never seen it as necessary. My goal has always been to look aesthetic. I want to build muscles and be lean at the same time. I have worked out for almost 2.5 years, and I believe that in that time period I have done pretty good for myself. So the way I have done it is by following a few principles and done my research on hypertrophy. By the end of this video, my goal is to share this knowledge with you. So let's begin with the principles. Do you know how muscles are actually built? The popular belief is that you train hard and get micro tears in your muscles, and when your body goes and repairs the muscle fibers, it grows back stronger and bigger, which makes your muscles grow. But what if I told you that is a lie? That is not how muscles are actually built. The way muscles are built is through mechanical tension. To simplify, mechanical tension is any force that tries to stretch our muscles. For example, when you do bicep curls, the weight is trying to drag your arm down, which makes the muscle fibers of your biceps stretch. You work against gravity and pull the weights up towards you to contract the muscle fibers. The more force the muscle experiences, the harder the muscle fibers has to work. Over time, our muscles adapt to this new load, which enables them to grow. That is how muscles are actually built, not through micro tears. All micro tears is doing is injuring your muscle and hinder growth. When the muscle adapts to this new load, we have to follow another principle, and that is progressive overload. Progressive overload is when your muscle gets stronger, you train harder. For example, let's say you can only do 150 pounds for 8 reps on the squat. 1-2 weeks later, you will get stronger. To keep training with intensity, you will need to increase the reps or the weight on the exercise. That is progressive overload. The third principle that is also very important is consistency. You won't see a lot of progress in 1 or 2 months, but wait 6 months, wait 1 year, and I promise you, you will be unrecognizable. My favorite saying is, this is a marathon, not a race. Working out is a long-term habit, so don't treat it as a race. If you're not happy with how much results you're getting, it's your diet and training, or it's all in your brain. It's really common for beginners to have unrealistic goals, so don't have any short-term goals. Your goal should be at least 1 year long, and after 1 year, you will realize how much progress you have made, and you will be thankful for how far you have come. So you have to stay consistent and believe that it's possible. Believe that it will take some time, but know that everything will work out. And when it comes to your training, you need to have the right form and technique. Always control the weights on the concentric and eccentric, because if you control the weights and don't use momentum, you will be able to put more metabolic stress on your muscles. The muscles will need to work harder to do a repetition. So by controlling the weights, you will grow more. Another thing when it comes to your training is to always do full range of motion. There are countless studies that show that full range of motion is the most optimal for growth. I see a lot of ego lifters, they skip out the stretch, and the reason they do that is because the stretch is usually the hardest part of the exercise. And if it's harder, you won't be able to lift as heavy, but you will stimulate the muscle more if you go down to the stretch. But because of their ego, they don't want to pick lighter loads, so they sacrifice the hypertrophy gains for the ego. Don't be like those people. Remember, our goal is to build muscle mass, so you should train the way that is the most efficient to build muscles. Now let's talk about diet, and there's a few ways you can go about it. Chances are you don't want to count calories, and the good news is you don't need to. I don't count calories. As long as you eat natural foods with a lot of protein, you don't need to count anything. I only eat unprocessed animal-based food, a lot of ground beef, chicken thigh, drumsticks, egg, lamb, etc. And I have cheat meals when I'm in restaurants. This is the perfect balance for me. You can try out this method, it works great, and I'm able to be consistent when I follow this diet. Now if this diet sounds like too much, then you don't need to be as strict as me, but as long as you eat natural foods and have a ratio about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, it's good enough. Another thing when it comes to your diet is don't restrict fat from your diet. Contrary to popular belief, fat is really important for our bodies. And if you want to get healthy fats, you need to get it from natural foods. Your brain and your hormones, especially your testosterone, needs fat. Our body needs fat to be healthy, and what you have to remember, the most efficient way to build muscles is to have an all-around healthy body. And fat enables you to have a healthy body. Protein is not the only metric that matters. Fat matters too. Now we have covered everything about training and diet, and the last part of the equation is your sleep. You already know that sleep is really important. Get your 8 hours of sleep, let your body rest and recover from the training you did and come back stronger. To understand everything, if you follow the principles I have mentioned and you train right and you eat unprocessed foods and get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, you will grow. Also, you have to let your body rest 8 hours per day. And this is how you grow without bulking. This is how you get a lot of muscle mass while being lean. If you got any more questions, just write them down below. I'm a small channel, so I will see every single comment. I will answer every single comment within 24 hours. So if you want to know something, just write down below. Leave a like and don't forget to subscribe.